All right, the NL West. The NL West this year, I think the projected team is unanimous. It is the Colorado Rockies. There's still some interesting things to be excited about the Colorado Rockies. One, they didn't have a WTF award this year. They didn't go and assign Chris Bryant in the middle of the offseason and us going, what the heck? Why did that happen? However, it did seem to work out quite well until he got hurt. What to be excited about this year? Chris Bryant, he will get his first home run at Coors Field. That will happen. Be excited about that. But before I go into my most exciting player, and it might be Chris Bryant, you never know, but what are you excited about with the Colorado Rockies this year?
Yeah, it's really tough. And I think what I'm looking forward the most is to see if there's an actual path for them to move forward. Are they going to continue to linger in the basement with no sign of getting out of it? That's the first thing I'll be watching for, because the Rockies fans deserve much better than that. So that'll be the first thing. But if I'm looking at an individual, I'm looking to, excuse me, I'm looking to 24-year-old Nolan Jones. That's it seems like they're even trying him out at first base this spring, which is a little bit of an interesting. Maybe it's kind of getting him up to the big leagues quicker. Who knows? But he's got the power. He's got lots of power, and he's a good, exciting young hitter. So, and power and Coors Field, I mean, they just go hand in hand, right? Especially if you're a lefty. Like, come on.
Yeah, I'm excited for Nolan Jones. I think he could be an underrated piece. He was having a hard time with Cleveland, but hey, if he can figure it out in Colorado, I mean, just kind of like we were talking about with Oakland, that is a nice spot to do it, because there are going to be some open positions ready to go. Obviously, the Chris Bryant health is big. I'm excited about Ezequiel Tovar. I think Ezequiel Tovar, one of their top prospects, if he can solidify himself as the everyday shortstop and get himself up there, I think he can be fantastic. I think he could be in the Rookie of the Year conversation, and I think that's enough to get excited about alone for Colorado Rockies fans. If you can find a solid replacement for Trevor Story, a guy that can be in the Rookie of the Year conversation. When we talk about the Colorado Rockies for the last 15 years, we think about shortstops. We think of Troy Tulowitzki. We think of Trevor Story. Now, if you can get a guy in the shortstop like Ezequiel Tovar, that is a perfect place to start. We talked about at the beginning of the episode, the middle of the infield value has only improved, has only increased. If you can solidify yourself with a nice shortstop of the future, you are in great hands, and that is exactly how you get yourself out of the basement. So if he hits, and he absolutely needs to hit, Colorado needs that W in their back pocket after just being hurt and down so long. I hope that Ezequiel Tovar does well. There's plenty of things to be excited about with Colorado. I know that I think they can be a big punching bag of the league, especially lately, especially talking about what their owner likes to say and compare them to the Padres. Not even close does that happen. But they're not going to be a 500 team. I apologize in advance to Dick Monfort because I think he's got his paths crossed there. However, there's still some exciting things to apologize. Yes, he does. I do think so.
He needs to apologize. Come on, telling your fans you're going to be a 500 team. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to find a way to sell tickets. Look, I think you have some really fun prospects. Chris Bryant's going to obviously, you had to hope that he's going to play more games than he did last year. He's going to hit his first Coors home run. And look at this bright side. I think if any team should be excited, more excited about this, is the Colorado Rockies. You don't have to play the Padres, the Dodgers, the Giants 19 times this year, only 13. And that is fantastic. That is huge. That is a big deal. That means that you can play more NL Central teams, more AL Central teams, the more NL East teams at the bottom. Or, I mean, it's just a lot of things to be excited about for Colorado. Yeah. Yes, it's going to be we're talking about them on the basement for a reason. You are not going to be a playoff team. I think you might be one of the worst teams in baseball this year, but doesn't mean that they're not going to be worth watching. There's plenty of things to be excited about. Just don't think you're going to hit 500.